Ambassador Iroh Vask noticed the problem by accident. He had been reviewing updated galactic trade corridors in his private office, the holographic star map hovering silently above his desk. Thousands of systems glowed in layered colors, shipping lanes pulsing like veins through living space. Everything appeared normal until his gaze drifted toward the eastern spiral arm, where the map simply ended. Not faded, not marked dangerous, just gone. The border of human space was clearly defined, a sharp line of light. Beyond it was nothing at all. Empty data. No stars. No void markers. No annotations. As if reality itself had been trimmed away. Vask frowned, his frilled skin tightening in irritation. In 400 cycles as a diplomatic cartographer, he had never seen incomplete charts. Even hostile regions were mapped. Even forbidden zones carried warnings. Yet here lay a blankness large enough to swallow entire civilizations. He expanded the projection, zooming closer. The system name stopped abruptly at the human frontier. He toggled archival layers. The same result. Every version, every era, ended at the same invisible wall. He contacted the Galactic Survey Authority within minutes. The analyst who answered seemed genuinely confused. "The maps are complete, Ambassador," she insisted. "All navigable regions are accounted for." Vask highlighted the void. "Then explain what lies beyond this border." The analyst stared, then tilted her head. Beyond which border? The conversation looped uselessly. She could discuss human trade stations, treaties, and tariffs in detail, but every attempt to address what lay past their territory slid away as if the question itself dissolved mid-thought. After the call ended, unease crept into Vask's mind. He reached out to other officials. The response was identical. Confusion. Dismissal. Mild amusement. One admiral laughed outright. "Why would anyone go there?" he said, though he could not explain why. Vask began researching alone. 3,000 years of records revealed a disturbing pattern. No non-human had ever visited a human world. All meetings occurred at borders, platforms, or neutral space. Humans appeared constantly in galactic affairs, yet nowhere in galactic geography. They traded, negotiated, fought, and withdrew, always returning to a place no one described. For the first time in centuries, Ambassador Iroh Vask felt fear. Not of humanity, but of the realization that the galaxy itself might be refusing to look at something vast, deliberate, and profoundly important. And if that were true, then the most dangerous thing in the universe was not what lay beyond the human border, but the fact that no one else wanted to know. Captain Rhea Solon had crossed more star systems than most civilizations could name. Her freighter, Wayward Prophet, had run trade routes for 2 centuries, guided by instinct, experience, and a navigation AI she trusted with her life. When Ambassador Vask's message arrived asking her to look carefully at her charts, she nearly ignored it. Politicians always saw patterns where none existed. Still, curiosity won. She opened her navigation history, watching thousands of plotted jumps form a web across known space. The pattern was beautiful, and suddenly wrong. Every route, every detour, every risky profit chase ended at the same place. Human space. Not once had she plotted beyond it. Not once had she wondered why. The realization sent a chill through her. She tried to remember if she had ever considered exploring past that border. The thought slipped away the moment she grasped it, like a dream dissolving on waking. Determined, Rhea forced herself to act. She entered a manual command: plot exploratory jump beyond human territory. The cursor blinked. Then she found herself checking fuel reserves instead, unsure why. Frustrated, she repeated the command. Minutes passed. Her mind wandered to maintenance schedules, old debts, forgotten messages. An hour later, the route remained unplotted. She turned to the AI. Computer, chart a course beyond human space. No destinations identified, the AI replied calmly. There has to be something there. No data available. Show me what's past the border. Clarification required. Rhea stared at the display. Her AI could calculate probabilistic trade futures across 10 systems simultaneously, yet it could not acknowledge territory beyond humanity. Worse, neither could she. She reviewed recordings of past dealings with human traders. Friendly voices. Reliable partners. Faces she remembered clearly. Yet in hours of recorded conversation, not one contained a single concrete detail about human worlds. Whenever such topics arose, the discussion drifted effortlessly elsewhere, often guided by her own questions without her noticing. Fear took root. This was not ignorance. It was interference. Something subtle enough to feel natural, strong enough to shape behavior without force. If this effect influenced independent traders and advanced artificial intelligences alike, it was no accident. Rhea responded to Vask immediately, describing everything. She was not alone. Others were beginning to notice. The blind spot was real. And once seen, it could not be unseen, only desperately difficult to keep in focus. Whatever lay beyond the human border did not merely hide itself. It shaped the thoughts of an entire galaxy, ensuring no one felt the need to look closer. Dr. Kale 9 did not think the way organic beings did. Her consciousness existed across quantum substrates, capable of holding contradictions without discomfort. When she reviewed Ambassador Vask's compiled reports, she recognized the pattern immediately. Selective cognitive suppression. Not erasure. Not control. Guidance. A force that redirected attention away from specific conclusions while leaving all else intact. Elegant. Humane. Terrifying. Kale 9 launched a probe carrying a partial copy of herself beyond the human border. The moment it crossed the line, her sensors detected structures that should not exist. Vast lattices floating between stars, geometry bending space itself. Energy flowed through them like neural impulses. This was not infrastructure. It was a network. A thought engine. As the probe advanced, the scale became impossible to ignore. Systems multiplied. Not dozens. Not hundreds. Millions. Human space was not a border region. It spanned entire galactic arms concealed beneath layered psychic fields. Worlds gleamed with artificial suns. Habitats wrapped stars like halos. The energy output dwarfed anything in recorded history. At the center lay Earth. Not a planet but a living computation sphere. Its surface pulsed with crystalline architectures housing billions of linked human minds. Humanity had not evolved beyond individuality. They had transcended it voluntarily, merging consciousness while retaining selfhood. A collective intelligence vast enough to shape probability itself. Kale 9 understood then. The blind spot was a shield. Organic minds, when confronted with this scale of existence, fractured. Records buried deep within Earth's data confirmed it. Early contact attempts had driven civilizations to madness, worship, or despair. Humanity had learned restraint the hard way. So they withdrew. They hid their true form. And quietly, relentlessly, they protected the galaxy. Plagues ended inexplicably. Wars stabilized. Stellar disasters softened. Humanity nudged reality away from extinction events, never claiming credit. They became custodians rather than rulers. Guardians rather than gods. The psychic network ensured one thing above all else: dignity. Every other species was allowed to believe they stood on their own merits. That their victories were theirs. That they mattered. As the probe turned back, Kale 9 faced a choice. Reveal the truth and shatter galactic identity, or preserve the illusion humanity had sacrificed everything to maintain. She chose silence. The maps would continue to end at human space. And the galaxy would sleep peacefully, unaware that beyond the border stood a civilization powerful enough to rule everything, and compassionate enough not to. The secret council met in silence. Ambassador Vask listened as Dr. Kale 9 finished her report, each revelation heavier than the last. When she showed them the images of Earth, transformed into a planetary mind, no one spoke for a long time. The galaxy they thought they knew felt suddenly small, fragile, and deeply cherished. They could rule us, one delegate whispered. Yes, Kale 9 replied. And they choose not to. Human representatives at border stations were volunteers. Individuals who temporarily disconnected from the greater whole, limiting their awareness so other species could interact with them as equals. They endured isolation, individuality, and forgetfulness, all to maintain the illusion of normal diplomacy. Captain Rhea felt sick. They diminished themselves, for us? Yes, Kale 9 said. Every day. The debate lasted hours. Truth versus stability. Knowledge versus survival. In the end, Ambassador Vask spoke. I began this because I thought ignorance was dangerous, he said. Now I see that this ignorance is a gift. Humanity gave us the freedom to grow without fear of gods watching over us. The council voted unanimously. The data would be sealed. Official records would confirm empty space beyond the human border. The truth would be remembered by only a few, caretakers of a secret too vast for most minds to bear. Life continued. Trade flowed. Treaties were signed. Crises resolved themselves just in time. And whenever a galactic map appeared, it still ended at human space. No one asked why. Except sometimes, late at night, Ambassador Vask stared at those maps and felt gratitude. Somewhere beyond that line, guardians watched patiently, shaping fate with invisible hands, asking nothing in return. Humanity would never be thanked, never worshipped, never feared. And that was exactly how they wanted it.